So you guys may be asking, why are we watching an E6S5 Firefly showcase? Everyone knows they're gonna clear in 0 cycles. Everyone knows that this shit's gonna be a breeze, okay? Now the reason I'm doing this is because I got one guide in my comments. Or actually more like 2 or 3 guide. But one guy in specific, I'm not gonna call him out. I just wanted to make a video like this because it's just free content to prove my point. Basically, he said that E6 DHIL is the strongest E6 character in the game. E6 Acheron, E6 Firefly, who gives a shit about them, right? It's E6 DHIL up in here. And the amount of delusion was genuinely surprising to me. So I want to show you guys this video of an E6S5 Firefly so you can just comprehend how much stronger she is, or at least this team is, right? Because Super Break in general is just fucking dummy, right? Keep in mind, he admits to being a whale, this person, admits to having an E6S5 DHIL, says he's gotten multiple characters E6S5, and even said in his comment that he's used supports that are E6S5 with his DHIL to hit 5 millicycle. Now let's see how this Firefly does. Let me lower the volume, there we go. Let's see how this Firefly holds up to this 5 million damage a cycle Dawn Hung that my friendly whale has from my other video. Let's just see, right? Nuclear drama, right? Nuclear drama. Pops the ult. Goes into Firefly. By the way, before we even get into this, I want to mention that he said E6 DHIL had the most broken Eidolons. No. I'm sorry to say, these new characters, they have the most broken Eidolons. Have you seen Firefly's E1 and E2? No skill points when she uses her ultimate skill. Takes an extra turn. That's already double the damage. Taking an extra turn every break or defeating an enemy. Let's get straight into this. Ooh. 800k. Ooh. Now, I want you to keep in mind, right? A well-optimized Firefly is going to be taking 3 to 4 turns a cycle. And because of that E2, she's going to be taking 6 to 7. Because of constantly being able to break enemies and keep getting that extra turn. So, it's way more than it actually looks. And, by the way, just keep watching. It gets better. It gets better. Oh! Oh, 1 million. That's already 1.8 million in 2 turns. Or technically 1, because she just activated her E2. So 1 out of 4 of her turns in a cycle just did 1.8 million damage. And this does not include, boys, I need you to remember, this does not include the fact that Asta, Ruan Mei, and the Harmony Trailblazer are still putting in a couple of 100,000 here. Because of Super Break. Now, let's go straight into the next phase. Yep, Asta, get her speed up. Skill. 558k fucking peasant damage. I'm not counting that 200k from the fucking boss mechanic. Look at that, 200k. 200k from fucking Trailblazer's E, bro. That shit is disgusting. I don't know if this Ruan Mei is E6S5, by the way. I don't know. I really can't tell. But this person said they were going to pull for E2 Yun Li, so I'm assuming they just have E2 everything, and then they have E6S5 Firefly. Oh my god. 1.5 milli. 1.5 milli. Alrighty then, let's go straight into the other phase. Alrighty. Nice, blocked it. Effect res. By the way, I know this is the Super Break side, which is why I specifically chose a video that did both halves. It's also recent as well, 9 days ago. Also, I'd like to keep in mind, right? This person probably has E6 S5 Sparkle on their team. 490k. 1 million. Straight into the second half. Now, let's see how it goes here. By the way, that was way more than 5 million a cycle. I think on average, what is that, like? It's probably 7 to 8 million a cycle. So you're comparing 7 to 8 million a cycle to what? 5 million DHIL with all E6 S5 best in slot teammates. Keep in mind, right? I need you guys to keep in mind. Peep game and lock in. The moment Lingshaw releases, this team is going up even further. I need you to keep in mind, Lingshaw works as almost a sub DPS in the Super Break team. If you've seen any leaked gameplays of her, even at E0S1 and E1S1, you can watch the leaked gameplays. Her follow-up does 200 to 300k. Her ult does 300k. Her skill does 100k. And she also gets this toughness bar down faster to enable Firefly to actually break even earlier and get more attacks off. So this team is going to become even more broken and get millions of more damage when Lingshaw releases. Oh, let's see how much this does. 320k fucking peasant damage. Wait. I didn't even realize that was without Trailblazer's fucking ult up. Oh my god. That was without his ult up. Okay, never mind. I was like, peasant damage. What the fuck is going on here? Alright, there we go. Uame gets her ult up. Firefly goes next. 870k. Huge damage, huge. Speed boost. Firefly takes her turn, gets the break bar down by half. There we go. How much is it doing? Ooh, one shot Argenti. I think I've shown enough at this point. I'm kind of just adding insult to injury. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because sometimes I'll have people in my comments who simply don't get the point of what I'm saying in the video. Like, in the video I made specifically, DPS Eidolons suck. Literally right here. Why pulling Eidolons for DPSs usually sucks. Now, I said this, I put usually because Firefly's E1 and E2 are really broken. So those were the only ones I gave any credence to. But I made this video. In this video, I say, get an E6 DPS without S5 and with E0 supports from 1.0 to whatever, 1.6, and compare them to E0 Firefly and E0 Acheron teams. And see how much damage they do per cycle. And I say in that video, E0 Acheron and E0 Firefly in their best in slot teams at E0 are going to do better than Dan Heng or Jing Liu at E6 in their best in slot teams at E6. That was my point. Like, supports at E0. You need to understand this. Supports at E0. And in his comment, he brings up having supports at E6 S5 along with his E6 S5 Dan Heng. And remember, no S5. Again, I can't clarify it enough because I know someone's going to get it wrong because they always do. No S5. S5, it changes everything because you no longer need to rely on fucking getting really good relic luck because you can just make it up for the crit substat. Yep, 6k. By the way, I know I said stop watching it, but I just want to see. I'm actually curious. Because I've never watched any E6 S5 Firefly showcases before. Because I'm not a whale watcher. the most I've ever watched is E2S1 whenever a new character comes out, just to see how strong it is. But I never watch E6S5 because it's just an auto fest. Break. You guys take your guesses. Take your guesses how much this is doing. I'm saying 6 to 700k. Ooh, peasant damage. Peasant damage. Ooh, we don't like that. Ooh, that looked disgusting. Enough with the jokes. I wanted to make this video just to educate the masses. I'm gonna be completely honest. To the person who commented under my video, your E6S5 Don Hung doing 5 million a cycle is gonna be matched by an E2S1 Firefly team with Ruan Mei and Ling Cha. Now, sure, Ling Cha isn't out yet, but she will be in like a month and a half. So I made that video not to shit on previous DPSs. I say in that video, again, I say in that video, you can still clear all the content with E6 just fine. Like if you have E6 Jing Liu or E6 Don Hung, you're still going to clear the content fine. My point was that getting Eidolons for DPSs sucks dick. Because these new DPSs that come out in the new versions of a patch, by that I mean like 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, they end up being significantly stronger than the previous version's DPSs. So it gets to a point where like E2 or E6 of a previous DPS is only on par with an E0 team. With an E0 team in the new version. So that's why I say go for Eidolons in supports. I say this. Go for Eidolons in your Ruan Mei, your Robin, your fucking Bronya. I don't know. That's probably pretty hard, but you get my point, right? Because supports are a lot more universal, and you're less likely to replace your supports than you are to replace your damage dealers. We have an abundance of damage dealers in this game. There are a lot constantly getting replaced. Even just here, you can see Acheron, DHIL, Firefly. That is 3 damage dealers, right? Like, there are so many damage dealers in this game, but you can only use 2 on your team. Unless you're like follow-up attacking. I think follow-up teams are the only ones where you can use more than 1 DPS like optimally, right? Like for example, the new Fei Xiao team, the optimal Fei Xiao team is Aventurine, Fei Xiao, Robin, and Topaz. So you kind of have that. But I just wanted to make this video real quick. No hate to this guy, right? No hate. He's probably just a whale, and he hasn't been really paying attention or watching any videos on whale Fireflies or whale Acherons. He said the same for Acheron too, but I also brought up to him that E6S5 Acheron is doing 2 to 3 million every single ult, doing 2 ults a cycle, and then her skill also does 3 to 600k. And guess who's coming? Guess who's coming, boys? Ooh, Zhao Q. The guy who allows Acheron to get her ult twice as fast, as well as add damage vulnerability. Like, he is the best Nihility on her team by far. Like, she's going to be getting that ult off twice as often now. So now the Acheron goes from 6 million a cycle to 12 million a cycle. While your E6S5 Don Hung is doing fucking what? What was it? Shit, what was it? Oh yeah, 5 million a cycle. And this isn't even including supports, man. Like I bet if you get E6S5 Zhao Q, E6S5 Silverwolf, and fucking E6S5 Aventurine, the Acheron team is doing even more than 12 million a cycle. Like, boys, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. Yeah, as you can see, holy shit, that high ass break effect. Holy fuck. But yeah, I think that's enough of the video, right? I hope I got my point across. E6S5 Firefly and E6S5 fucking Acheron completely clear your Don Hung. It is delusional to believe Imbibitor Lune is the strongest E6 in this game. He simply isn't. Not even close, right? You could take any of these E6S5 DPSs with E0 supports. Because, by the way, he was using E6S5 supports with his Dan Heng. Give any of these guys E0 supports, they're still doing, like, the same damage, if not more, a cycle. Like that's kind of my point, right? So, right now, E6S5 Imbibitor Lune with E6S5 supports is competing with E2S1 Firefly and Ling Sha team. I'm just being dead ass. Firefly, Ruan Mei, and Ling Sha is matching E6S5 Dan Heng team with E6S5 supports. It is what it is, boys. It is what it is. Why does this matter? It fucking doesn't. Because your E6S5 deal is still going to be one cycling every single piece of content in the game. It doesn't. I just made this video because I'm tired of people being blind to the fact that these new DPSs are completely shitting on the older ones. Sure, at E6S5 it doesn't fucking matter because that's E6S5. But once you start going into the E0, E1, E2 territory, you're starting to realize that these older DPSs are falling off and struggling on content significantly more than these newer DPSs. Hope you all have a great day. Hope you all have a great night. Peace.